Test, test. Okay, here we are. There we go. Wow, that hasn't happened in a while, but a Windows update actually did reset my audio settings. Well, there we go. That was easy fix, though. I checked them and everything, but okay. Well, hey, so that means you guys didn't even get the theme song, the Kerbal theme song. Oh, I'm so sad. Oh well, no worries. Hello, Twiglet. You are indeed first. And yeah, I am doing great. I am exhausted, but excited to play some Kerbal Space Program. We didn't do it last week because of the first craft stream weekend, which was a ton of fun. We got real wacky last week, but yeah, let's take down the starting soon screen. I was just at lunch with my brother and his family and my parents. Don't get a lot of chances to do that, so that was fun, and I knew that we would go later. We were using prior engagements as an excuse to not stay all day, but yeah, this is okay. And I'm tired enough that today we're not doing boozinate, we're doing caffeinate, so no worries about that. But yeah, so Twiglet, you are one of several people who have redeemed some Kerbal rescues that I am behind on. But we are ready to start on that. And thank you for the caffeinate. I don't even have my my drink cam set up right now because we just got home. Yes, you have. And you and Satan in particular have some hilarious ones. Freshly brewed cup of coffee. There we go. Yeah, let's resume saved, and I've done a little bit of preparation. Mostly we are picking up exactly where we left off last time, 2 weeks ago. And the main focus today is catching up on some of those rescues. So I actually went ahead and I will fess up. I used the cheat menu a little bit, but not to, you know, make things easier. I used the cheat menu to get, you can go here and under contracts, you can tell it to generate more contracts. And because we had 9 rescues, a few in progress, but several that hadn't even been started yet, I went ahead and this one right here, recover asset, is usually a rescue. Sometimes it's recover a piece of debris in orbit. But yeah, so do we have any desktop audio? I don't think the game's even making any sound right now, so I think that's fine. Yeah, it's just crickets. So yeah, I generated a few of those. We have to do the work for them, though. Okay, yes, good. We do have that. I did not accept this one, Orbit of the Sun. Nah, I don't think so. But here we go. Here is our current active contracts list right now. We've had this one for a while. Build a new surface outpost on the moon. Position satellite in synchronous orbit of Minmus is one we can do. Rescue Bo from orbit of Kerbal. That is our friend Boan. Uh-oh. Evil Kaylee. Uh-oh. I have concerns. Kaylee Kerman was lost on rescue. It appears that maybe her evil twin is in orbit and requesting a rescue. I'm not sure if that's wise. Luli is another friend of the channel. So we have Luli Kerman. Science set of space around the moon, we still haven't done. Isa, another friend of the channel, we have to rescue. And Kerman San Diego, I think that one was Satan. And Matt Ranger, another friend of the channel. And who is it that redeemed that one? Let me go to the list, because I have a list. Let's see, rescue my Kerbal. Yeah, there are 9 in progress. Yeah, Kerman San Diego is from Satan, and Elric the Troll King, he's the one who redeemed one for Mr. Matt Ranger. That's right. Satan also named Pee-wee Kerman. We need to get some science data from space around Moho. That'll come soon. Conduct temperature surveys on the moon. Yes, and we're looking for some more comets as well. A satellite in orbit around Eve. We've tried that one a couple times and failed twice. We've got more on the way. Google, I think you did that one, Twiglet. I think that's yours. Google Kerman, the Kerbinator Kerman, and the Warden Kerman are all yours. as well as Twig King Kerman. So yeah, Twig, we have 4 of yours. What are you doing to me, Twiglet? Why are you doing this? But yeah, we have some rescues to do. So I figure we should start with another refuel. I am a king, says Twiglet. I make demands. Just don't tax my tea. I mean my coffee. I mean my tea. So we tried last time a new larger fuel tank, and let's see, what's our next alarm coming up? Correction burn for the Dres mission, the first one we launched, and Moho transfer window after that. Okay. Oh, and we might actually see Moho today. So, but the only issues we had with this giant fuel tank were it was really difficult to maneuver, and also we had to tap into it for a little bit of extra thrust at the end, a little extra delta V. So I've made some minor modifications. Instead of 4 of these thoroughbred solid fuel boosters, we have 6 to give a little bit more thrust off the pad, and that can justify slightly stretching the upper stage fuel tank. So I believe we had about 3,900 meters per second delta V before. This gives us about 200 or 300 meters per second more delta V, and that should be enough as long as we don't do anything really stupid to get to the space station without burning any of the fuel that's in here. But we still have that just in case we need it. Also, I've added a few monopropellant tanks so that we can put some of these maneuvering thruster blocks on. So yeah, we should be able to maneuver this thing a lot more easily once we get it there. So we're going to need this to fuel up our rescue craft, the Personnel Orbital Rescue Craft, PORC. So that's how we're going to start today. Let's roll it out to the pad. And I'm going to take a drink of my water while the pad loads, while we roll this out. And here we go. It looks like we've got a night launch. That is okay. Let's turn on our stability assist. Throttle up. Let's double check our staging. That's the main engine there, launch clamps, and the boosters. The separator engines and the decouplers, yes. Stage decoupler, second stage engine, and the fairing, and then that is the docking clamp, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so oh, I haven't put a camera on there. That's okay. Let's watch from... We don't need that. Close that. Let's set the target first. Let's focus on the base of that fairing. That works pretty well. And let's watch this launch from over here in the field. That will be pretty good. All right, let's turn off the auto flyby. And that means I need to set the position again. Over there. That should be good. Oh, that's better. Zoom. There we go. Okay. That way does it. There we go. All right. Yeah, I believe, are go for launch. Let's turn on the flight recorder and let's monitor altitude, acceleration, and dynamic pressure. The stream weekend was really fun. It was. Like, that was in like the top 5 fun times I've ever had in Minecraft. It was really great. Oh boy. So yeah, we'll do that again next month too. I'm excited for it. All right. We are go for launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff of this huge rocket. Vehicle is pitching downrange. I usually try to get a pitch of about 60 degrees by the time we are supersonic. But this guy, I gotta start that early. Everything is looking nominal. Prograde now, and vehicle is supersonic. That is a lot of thrust. 14,000 kilonewtons of thrust. 14 meganewtons of thrust. And there went the sound. We have passed maximum dynamic pressure. Yeah, once it's far enough away from the camera, the sound just cuts out. It's one of the few things I don't like about this mod. And here we're coming up on SRB burnout. Burnout and separation. Whoa, it was a little bit rough there, but I think we're all right. Continuing nominally. And we're going to pitch down to 0 degrees. And we're coming up on main engine cutoff. We have MECO, stage separation, and second engine start. And once we have an apoapsis of 150 kilometers, we're going to cut the engine and coast to apoapsis. We can drop this now. And we can also stage the fairing. I don't trust that there, so let's deploy like this. There we go. I've been Twiglet. I've been going through a few of my older streams that were particularly fun, cutting the engine, and finding clips that I can use to showcase my channel. And I I made one of the discovery of all the Kevins. Yep. That was pretty funny. All right, let's turn on this. And let's make sure control from here. Yeah. Yeah, it's still rough. The Kevins are great, yeah. It still struggles to right itself, but it's going to be better than it was before, especially, I mean, this is still full, so all right, let's not worry about that. We're fighting a losing battle with that. Lead up the game there, and we're coming up on our apoapsis. We can actually choose our target now. Arcadia Station. We're 1 minute from apoapsis. And we have sunrise. All right, let's go ahead and start that engine. That'll help us right ourselves, and full throttle. There we go. Yeah, that gimbaling makes a huge difference. We're going to pitch up to about 15 degrees. There we go. And yeah, our periapsis is rising nice and quick. Our apoapsis is rising a little bit too, but that is okay. I hear a fanfare. Hello there, Skynode host. That sounds familiar. I know I've seen Skynode host in another stream. Jog my memory, though, where that would have been. Welcome to the stream. Clickwell, that's right, that's right. I knew it was, I knew it was somewhere I've been a lot. Yes, welcome. AKA as Tycho. Okay, yes. That's right, because all the CCI stuff there. Clickwell loves his CCI. It's chaos. Welcome. We are playing some Kerbal Space Program today. We are launching a fuel tank to our space station so that we can refuel our rescue vehicle and send it to rescue several Kerbals that have been named by viewers. And we've got a low thrust but high efficiency upper stage engine. Actually, it's pretty high thrust. That's a kilonewton right there, or 1,000 kilonewtons right there. But it's a big, heavy. It's a heavy tank. So, all right, and our periapsis is about to be positive, which means it will be above the surface of the planet. There. And as soon as it is above 70 kilometers, we have a safe orbit. Right there, safe orbit. And we're looking for about 150 kilometers, but we're about to... that is as close as we're going to get now, since we're well past our apoapsis. So now we need to see where we are relative to our station. So I haven't really worried about the most efficient launch window. We usually just match orbit and then adjust to let the station catch up. And that's the old abandoned station. There we go. There's our station. And there's us opposite it. So that means if we burn prograde, let's pin this approach here. We also have a little bit of an inclination, but that is okay. And that one. It makes sense that our approaches are going to be at the ascending and descending nodes. Alright, so let's burn prograde. And then watch these markers come together so that we can get a close approach to the station. Alright. Just full throttle this. So what we're doing is making our orbit bigger so it will take longer, which will give the station a chance to catch up to us. So by the time we come around this once, the station will have come around once and a half by the time that we have this orbit. So this is the target position when we get back to our closest approach right here. And we're waiting for that to be close. Steve, welcome. I'm here now. Fear not, everyone. There's no longer a reason to panic. I really was panicking, Steve. Like, I think I hit it well. You can ask the others. You can ask Twiglet in particular. I'm pretty sure I made it sound like I wasn't panicking, but believe me, I was panicking quite a lot. Alright, and so our relative speed at approach is going to be about 258 meters per second. We have 264 meters per second remaining delta V. So even though this is not the most efficient way to do this, it's the oh, you mean I didn't hide it. Twiglet says he knew I was panicking. Dang it. Twiglet, you're supposed to have my back. Say, no, he wasn't panicking. That's why I showed up. I'm really relieved. Thank you, Steve. Welcome. Good to see you here. So let's see. The closest approach we can manage from here is 16 kilometers. But if we go to this descending node here and adjust our inclination just slightly, we should be able to really tighten that up. So let's... Our time to relative descending node is 47 minutes. So if we time warp to here, about 42 minutes, that'll give us some time to adjust our attitude. It's the descending node, so this is where, if we look edge on the equator, we will be coming from above and crossing the orbit of our target down below it. So we need to burn this way, which is called normal. This way is called anti-normal. So let's adjust our attitude, and that should be easier now that our ship is lighter weight. We burned a lot of fuel. And I'm also speeding up the game a bit. Always here to save the day. Very good. And this marker here on the nav ball is the normal marker. If we are in a prograde orbit, which means we're going to the east, same direction as rotation of the planet, then normal is to the north. All right, we can turn off the stability assist now, or the RCS. And let's time warp a little bit, get really close to the descending node. And then we'll do just a very gentle burn. And yeah, that is definitely tightening up our approach. And slowing down our relative speed at approach, so that's perfect. Okay, now it is not helping, so we're going to stop that. We're going to point retrograde. And we have lots of time, so we're just going to let the reaction wheels do this. Space is great, says D. It sure is. There's a lot of people stuck up in space, though, and it's up to us to rescue them. I'm going to hydrate myself a lot today, too, so... This thing is trying to reach the retrograde marker. It's gonna be until we actually fire the engine before we can really zero in on it. But we're coming up in 3.5 minutes. And there's a sunrise. Very cool. We're actually going to have this in the daytime. Always like when it's illuminated, because then you guys can see it. Okay, slow the game down, and let's light up the engines. Full throttle. Okay, good. Our separation at approach is dropping, as well as our relative speed. Let's change to target mode. And there's the station 26 kilometers away. And I think we are going to need to slightly tap into this fuel here, but that is alright. Much, much less than we had to last time. We drained this and this last time. There we go. Yeah, let's go ahead and unlock this tank. Steve says, not me. Imagine getting stuck in space. Amateurs could never be me. Right? Seriously, these guys always need rescue. What is up with that? 4 of them are Twiglet, I just want to point out, including King Twig. I have to rescue him 4 times, and I've already rescued, like, 3 of his guys. Jeez. Alright. Yeah, our relative velocity is going to be about 50 meters per second. And if I burn on this side of the retrograde marker, it'll push it towards the anti-target marker. And Twiglet says, I just like being rescued. A king that likes being rescued? I thought you were supposed to rescue the princess, not the king. Jeez. Poor Twiglets is just too many. Alright, and yeah, this is pushing that, and I'm watching the separation at approach drop 1 kilometer now. Alright, 150 meters, that is really good. This... Princesses get too much spotlight. This is about me. Fair enough. Fair enough, Twiglet. Wow, 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 wow. Alright, we're 14 kilometers away. Going pretty slow, so I think we might actually end up with sunset in the middle of this, but that's alright. Speeding up the game. Under 3 kilometers away. He's the king damsel in distress. Exactly. Alright. Swing it around. come to a stop. Just like this. Here we go. All right, and let's turn on the RCS so that we can stabilize. There we go. All right, see, I'm gonna read that with the typo because it's funny, and then I'm going to read your correction. He clowned himself so he can be rescued 4 times. This guy knows the pro damsel strats. Cloned himself. Yes, clown clones. That's what we're going with. Twiglet is a clown clone. It's canon. All right. So right there, that's the old tank. And okay, good. We've got the same supplies that we did before, so we can use these to recover some abandoned space junk. And right there, that is our space forklift, and we need to grab that. First, let's go ahead and undock that stage. There we go. Let that drift off a little bit. Let's switch to the station. There we go. Yeah, we've got a lot docked to the station at the moment. And this here, undock. All right, perfect. And we want to control from here. And also activate the camera. Whoa, that's right. All right, so we're going to let the station get away so we don't clip it. And we want, look, right over here. And let's choose that docking port as our target. There we go. He says, I think space is one of those things where it's equal parts super cool and equal parts absolutely horrifying, kind of like our oceans. Yes, and that is an apt analogy as well, so you are completely right. All right, we're going 5 meters per second relative to our target there. Turn the maneuvering thrusters back on. We're going to use those to slow down. Big nope moment. Yeah, I would totally go, though. You're absolutely right, but it wouldn't stop me from wanting to go. All right, and we're zooming past a little bit. So there we go. There we go. Perfect. And yeah, we need to move this to over there, and I'm just gonna tack it on the end here for now. And having these thrusters on here will help immensely in maneuvering this. It's still going to be big and unwieldy, but it won't be nearly uncontrollable like it was last time. There we go. And yeah, as usual, I am just enjoying how easy this thing is to fly when it doesn't have a payload, before I lose that ease of movement by attaching a payload. It's about time for an upgraded forklift, though. I think we need one with the nuclear engines. And I think the experiment that we had with the space garbage truck that Kefri Bezos is flying right now, as penance for getting Kaylee killed, is going to be the template for it. Alright, and we don't need to worry about rotating to be perfectly aligned there, just gently in, like that. And there we go. We are attached. And Steve says, so you're telling me, if you were given the option to go to space, you'd take it? Oh, yes. I very much would. Okay, so yeah, here we have our fuel tank, nearly full. We barely even tapped into that one, too. So yeah, this thing has lots of fuel in it. We want to control from here and activate that camera. And turn on the thrusters, and oh, it actually turns. Oh, unbelievable. All right, that docking port there is our target. Using the main thrusters at the moment. There we go. Turning on the maneuvering thrusters whites out this camera. He says, I sometimes freak out when I can't touch the bottom of the pool before remembering that I can, in fact, swim. I'm not space material. Yeah, that would present some problems for being in space, I'd imagine. Alright, and we're going to speed the game up just a little bit. Because, yeah, this is still slow and ponderous. And we're just lining ourselves up. Just about lined up, and yeah, we're at 4 times speed right now, so yeah, we're actually going real slow, which is good, especially bringing a tank full of extremely flammable materials, and vital materials at that, to a space station full of people. Back to real time. Yeah, here's real time right here. There we go. And I don't have to, but I'm lining up the docking ports rotationally as well. Yeah, usually we go about 0.2, 0.3 meters per second for our final approach, but yeah, we're taking it nice and slow. This thing has some momentum. Lots of weight behind this thing. 117 kilotons, or tons. Metric tons, not kilotons. There we go. Alright. Yeah, this thing weighs full almost as much as all of this put together. Steve says, this music kind of sounds like there's a whale nearby. Space whales. Yeah, those are simulated whale sound. You picked up on it. And yeah, now you can really compare these. They're identical, except this one has the reaction control thrusters on it, a few solar panels, and the monopropellant tanks. So yeah, there we go. And our rescue craft is not present. It is currently on a mission, but it will need fuel. So now we have it, because this thing is empty. All right, I need another quick drink of water here. And let's see what our rescue vehicle is up to. Actually very nearby. Ah, Steve redeemed stretch. Here we go. All right. Standing up, and my hands are on the ceiling, feet are on the floor. Ah, that feels real good on the spine. Thank you, Steve. It resets my posture. Exactly what I needed. and the sun just went down on this thing. How far are we from Arcadia Station? Only 35 kilometers. Okay. Yeah, so we recently detached because we were doing a different rescue mission. That's right. So who is aboard? Philip Brewer is our pilot. Well, he's our co-pilot. Raider is our pilot. That's another viewer-redeemed Kerbal. Manchi is one of our engineers. That was redeemed by Nia. And those are our 3 crew. So, on the ceiling, how tall are you? Well, it is a low ceiling, but I am also 6'3" or 193 centimeters. So, I'm a little bit tall. I think of all the First Craft crew, only Pro Kit Man is taller than I am by a couple centimeters. There we go. So let's see who we've got to rescue. Let's clear the target. And yeah, we have a lot of ships in low Kerbin orbit. Some of them, they've already been rescued, and their pods just need to be deorbited. But there's Luli. Who's here? That's something remaining from the launch of the station. Oh, there's Evil Kaylee. Uh-oh. And that's also left over from the launch. Yeah, there's Evil Kaylee. There's the space garbage truck with Kefri Bezos doing community service. Steve says, I'm like 5'7". Why are you so tall? Yeah. Another part of our station that needs to be deorbited. That's Supreme Oddity. That's Supreme Doom. She redeemed that one, and she has been rescued, so that one needs to be sent back down and disposed of. Yes. Bo. Okay, so we got Bo, Luli, and Evil Kaylee here in orbit of Kerbin. Let's switch to focus on the moon. And I think what we have here is an EVA to rescue. I think there is someone on the surface, right? What about landers? Cargo drop pod? Maybe. We'll have to look at the specific contract details there. But let's look at Minmus now. Around Minmus, we have Twig King. And a real nasty orbit to get to, of course. Steve says, my mother was on there. Glad she got rescued. That's right, because Supreme Doom. Google's scrap. And it looks like I did a typo with Twig King, so it's supposed to say Twig King's debris, but it just says Twig King, or maybe that's auto done by the game. I don't know. Matt Ranger, Kerman San Diego, and on the surface we have the Warden and we have the Kerbinator. So those are the 2 most difficult ones. The Warden and the Kerbinator. Thank you, Twiglet. All yours are the most difficult. Let's, how much fuel have we got? We are actually doing pretty well. So what we can do is the rescues in low Kerbin orbit. And then we can go and do the more difficult ones after a refuel that are out at Minmus. So let's rescue Luli first. Checking. Yeah, they're all down here, all 3 of them. So we're here, and actually Evil Kaylee will be the easiest, but sounds like Twig to make things hard for me. I know, right? What a butt. That's exactly what a king would do, isn't it? All right, yeah, let's set Luli's pod as our target. And so what we need to do is lower our orbit to match hers, and she is at a circular orbit at 86 kilometers. So let's set up a maneuver. Let's move it a little bit, and we'll need to burn retrograde. So if I pull on the retrograde marker or push on the prograde marker, either one will work. pushing on the prograde marker gives me a little bit finer control. Yeah, there is our approach. That will be our periapsis after the maneuver, so let's... Doesn't need to be that low. That is not... There it is. Okay. This interface is a little clunky, so now it's cluttered, but yeah, 93 kilometers is what we're looking at. We want that to be at about 86. Right about there. Okay, so now here is our approach. Intersect 1, 892 kilometers. Let's move this and see when we can get a closer one. And it looks like we're probably going to need to add some orbits, so... Yeah, I really am looking forward to, hopefully, a better interface for this in Kerbal Space Program 2. Come on. That's really good. Okay, and that's in several orbits, so we have to wait 3 hours, but if we do, we can get an approach of 10 kilometers with this maneuver. Or, let's see if we can even better. 9.2. What's our relative inclination? 0.08 degrees, so inclination is not an issue. Not a big one, at least. Yeah, inclination is not changing anything, so let's not change our inclination at all. Looks like the secret is to burn radial out and retrograde. So I'm just going to keep gently nudging these handles until we have the perfect maneuver. And that's pretty good. 2.5 kilometers, and then we can do a correction when we get close. And that's only a 58 meter per second burn, and that's coming up in 3 hours and 1 minute. So let's do some time warps. That's about 6 orbits. 2 hours. I don't want to pass it. 1 hour. 40 minutes. $30 minutes. 15 minutes. All right, and in 5 minutes. And Steve says retrograde. Isn't that what the kids are into these days? That is what they're calling it today. Although you might hear some talking about radial in or radial out. I'm not one to judge, but it's a thing. All right, so now on the nav ball, we need to point towards the maneuver marker right over there. And at full thrust, this is a 6-second burn, so we're probably going to do about 50% thrust. So at 6 seconds until the maneuver node, we will start our burn. That's coming up in 4.5 minutes, so let's time warp a little bit more. Just a bit of time warp. And yeah, there's Luli's pod right there, coming up to meet us. In a lower orbit, so it takes less time for her to orbit than for us to orbit. So those orbits were to let her catch up. All right, 30 seconds. Go down to real time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ignition. And for fine-tune control, let's throttle down a little bit. All right, that is darn near perfect. Yeah, our separation at approach will be 2.6 kilometers. So let's go ahead and, yeah, on the other side, so that is in 16 minutes. Let's get out of map view and let's time warp a bit. Steve says, what the heck is that? I'm so out of the loop with the kids. I'm like, too old to be considered a kid and too young to be considered a proper adult yet, so I'm just at the plop stage. Well, I'm turning 40 in a couple of weeks, and still don't consider myself a proper adult. Alright, yep, Luli's pod, and we're descending over the top of her pod, coming in to rescue. We'll have a relative speed of 47.2 meters per second. That is pretty easy to bleed that off. Alright, we're in target mode already, so let's point retrograde so that we are ready to slow down. We don't need that open. We can close that docking port. And let's double check this contract. I don't think we have to rescue or recover her pod. Yeah, save Luli Kerman and recover Luli Kerman on Kerbin. So we only have to rescue the Kerbal. We don't have to recover the pod intact. And there she is, 9 kilometers below us. Kilometers. Alright, and so now there's the anti-target marker, here's the retrograde marker, so if I point whichever way I'm offset will push the retrograde marker away, so I want to push it towards the anti-target marker. Whoa, 40? You're like 2 decades older than me, so twice the age, huh? Yeah. That's pretty normal. I'm not even the oldest on First Craft, though, so there's that. Alright, as long as I see that going down, that's what I want to see. Time warp again. Nope, I am not. Almost. Alright, and gentle burn again. Let's... Oh. Just point retrograde. Lots of retrograde. Steve says, you're one cool nearly 40-year-old, Dan. Just thought you should know. I know. But it's nice to see others acknowledge it. Thank you, Steve. All right. Which way is gonna fix that? Okay. This, and let me make sure I have monopropellant to spare. I do. Okay, good. Not, you know, a ton. Go. Let's fix the camera. Lock the camera. There we go. That way and that way. All right, cool. That tightens up the approach. Being real generous with that monopropellant though, so let's lay off the maneuvering thrusters for now. We're really going to want those when we dock. Alright, we are in range to see some details. He is, says Twiglet. Thank you, Twiglet. And Twiglet, you're pretty cool for someone from Britain. I just lost Twiglet as a friend with that statement. Twiglet is pretty cool. You've seen Twiglet streams, right, Steve? You were here for pretty much the whole stream weekend. Look at that. Just the nose cone cockpit from a space plane just detached and oh, reaching 40. Only if he reaches backwards, probably. Actually, Twiglet's just one of the a young kid. I have no idea how old Twiglet is. All right, and we're at basically a stop, and Luli Kerman is in there, out of snacks, desperate for rescue. Let's go say hello. Hello, Luli Kerman. I forget what she requested to be, an engineer. That's right. All right. How old would you guess, Dan? I would guess at mid to late 20s, maybe 30. I'd guess like 28. Twig's that one British guy, right? I might have heard of him. There is only one, and it's Twiglet. All right. She is now outside her pod. Oh, wait. We need to board. We want to reclassify this as debris. There we go. Luli's pod. 25. Okay, yes. Very cool. Yeah, just a kid. Just a kid. And there we go. Let go. Turn on your visor light and your jetpack. And let's see. You want to come aboard our rescue ship. I know you do. And we are unfortunately past sunset. Of course we are. We're always past sunset. And let's bring her aboard and see if we can get a good selfie. Actually, come in range of the headlights, Luli. The fetus is Twig. If Twig is considered to be a kid. A toddler, at least. Toddler. We'll call you a toddler. Alright, let's get you in range of these headlights so we can get a good selfie in the dark. It says, I'm just a kid. Life is a nightmare. Oh, Twiglet, you are fired. Hey, there is Luli Kerman. Let's get a selfie, as is tradition. Look, she's having a great time. She's so happy to finally be able to hang out with other Kerbals, maybe share some snacks. Joke's on her, we don't have enough extra snacks for everybody, so she'll have to do without. But yeah, here is the door. See yourself in. And board. There we go. Luli has been rescued. Now, she doesn't need to be sent home, so the contract is not over yet, but she has been rescued from her pod. So who is next? Let's see. We are here, and we've got Evil Kaylee and Bo. Well, I think Evil Kaylee has to be next because she's closer. So by pure meters, Bo is closer, but if we try to catch up, we will end up having to lower our orbit so far that we dip into the atmosphere. We're barely 17 kilometers above the atmosphere as it is. So best thing to do is raise our orbit and let these catch up, which means Kaylee will catch up first. So, and Kaylee is not here today. She, on Saturdays, right at this time, conveniently, competes in a UHC of Minecraft, so she's doing that right now, Frilioth UHC. So let's go orbit mode. Select Evil Kaylee's capsule as our target. There we go. Steve says, let's go. Always wanted to be a toddler again. Now I can just cry at any given moment. No one's stopping you from doing that now, Steve. It's okay. We're only judging silently and internally. All right, so from here, this is fairly straightforward. I just need to burn prograde to raise the orbit, and then watch as these markers come together. Probably that one, and that one. There we go. Yeah, it's probably going to be purple one. Actually, they're going to end up being the same. So yeah, there we go. Full throttle. If we wanted to be really fuel efficient, we could do several orbits, but we need to be quick. These guys are waiting for their snacks, okay? We don't want to keep them waiting too long. And we have the fuel. And we bring them back to the station, we'll have more fuel. So here we go. Our approach will be under 70 kilometers now. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Let's use our maneuvering thrusters to fine-tune this. Just like that. Yeah, we're not going to get any better than that. So, yep, in 41 minutes, we will be meeting Haley Kerman's evil twin. I hope she doesn't have any plans of vengeance. That would be awkward. And we're going to be going a lot faster relative to her, 200 meters per second, as opposed to the 50 meters per second we had last time for Luli. So we're just going to time warp over and then fine-tune our approach. Steve says, I suppose it makes sense that Supreme Doom had adopted me, because who let this toddler loose in your chat room, am I right? Oh man, I have 2 toddlers at home now. They're 17 months old today. Those butts. Alright, point retrograde to the target, and here we are coming down over the top of Kaylee Kerman. Well, relative velocity currently of 230 meters per second. He's going faster than us. 2280. No, we're going faster. That's right. All right, let's get out of map view. And not giving me the look at target option, unfortunately. That's okay. We see it right there. And we are going to soon need to burn our engines, because these are pretty low thrust, but they're high efficiency, and we have a habit, well, I have a habit, I guess, of underestimating how quickly I can slow down, or how long it takes to slow down, and blowing past a target. I don't want to do that. All right, she's 40 kilometers away. 30. 20. 10 kilometers away. All right. Point retrograde. And let's start our burn now. Steve says, no way. I am 228 months old, so I'd say I'm a singular age to them. I do sometimes like to describe my height as 5'15". Alright, we need to fix our approach a little bit too. We're now only going 18 meters per second relative to our target, which is great. That also pushed us just a little bit out of trajectory. We want to get really close. There's 500 meters. Here's the separation right here. 300 meters. 200. 144. That is excellent. And maybe we'll get a sunrise this time instead of a sunset. Donate some height, says Steve, to those of us who are vertically challenged. Hey, look, it's not my fault you're insufficient. I think you're still taller than BOO. How tall is he? I forget. He said on his Twitter a little bit ago. But yeah, he's a short guy. If I ever meet BOO, I'll be sure to have a stool on hand so that he can shake my hand. Alright, let's come to a stop. There we go. Excellent. Now, let's go take a look at evil Kaylee. Kaylee Kerman's evil twin sister. And she's in the Onion reentry module. This is modeled after the Soviet pods. And here she is. Let's rename this to declassify or reclassify it as debris. Think Onions, welcome. Good to see you here, and thank you for dropping the lurk. Hope you're having a good day. All right, and go on evil yeah, go on evil EVA, evil Kaylee. Turn on your evil helmet lights. Look at that evil reflection. Oh, evil, let go and activate your evil jetpack. And let's evil rescue you. Where is the evil rescue craft? Let's zoom out. There we go. It's like right nearby. All right, let's go here. And look at target. There it is. Yeah, it's dark, and the headlights are pointed away. So there we go. He says, and then go to your evil bed and take your evil nap so you have to dream some evil dreams. Yeah, she's evil. And did she pass the target? Nope, there it is right there. Alright, you two, you need to get in front of the headlights. You may be evil, but we need to take an evil selfie. There she is. Oh, look. Grinning an evil grin. Evil selfie for evil Kaylee. Alright. Enough being evil. You can be evil later. Rescue now. And grab. And board. Alright, that is 2 down. Who is next? It is Bo, I believe. Alright, we're here, and there is Bo's shipwreck. Set that as our target. And same thing as before. We go to orbit mode, we point prograde, and we raise our orbit. I'm going to go ahead and caffeinate myself. Coffee's cooling down, but is still delicious. Alright. So we want this here pinned. And alright, let's burn. Alright. Here it comes. Gently now. 40, 30, 20, 10. And let's use the maneuvering thrusters. Alright. 521 meters. That's real good. Lucky for us, everyone was in the same orbital plane, so that makes these three by far the easiest rescues we will do today. Oh, we should double check too that we didn't need to pick up. Okay, yeah, we did not need to recover Evil Kaylee Kerman's capsule, nor Bo Kerman's capsule. These are all just basic rescues. We just rescue the Kerbal, leave their capsule, and Kefri Bezos off camera will dispose of them with his space garbage truck. Kefri Bezos, who is driving a space garbage truck because he has messed up twice and caused us some serious issues. His bad repair job on this thing is what resulted in breaking this aerodynamic nose cone. Oh, hey, there's the sun. Perfect, so we can see. And also, his instruction to Kaylee Kerman is what resulted in her not being able to deploy her parachutes and plummeting to her death on her rescue. Now we have her evil twin. And Steve says, Dan, this is a bit out of nowhere question, but we'd be interested in doing some voice acting for me. I'm doing an animation project, and I need voices for my characters. It's like for far into the future, because right now my project is very much a baby. I am interested in such a thing, so yeah, you're in our Discord. You can message me about that when it comes closer to fruition. That could be fun. Yeah, tell me more about it in Discord message. That would be interesting. So, yeah, we are good to go. Now we just need to come back around, and in 38 minutes we will be rescuing Bo Kerman, redeemed by our friend Boann, who plays on the Community First SMP. And as we orbit, I'm going to drink my water. Alright, there's Bo. Here's us. We're coming down over the top of her as before. There she is, 56 kilometers away. Makes my life a bit easier. Yes, I bet. Alright. I'm going to point retrograde to the target. And yeah, once again, we're going about 220 meters per second, so this is going to be basically exactly the same as the previous rescue. And we are doing fine on fuel. We have about 2/3 of our fuel reserves left, which means we could do several more of these if we had them to do, but we still will need to refuel before we go all the way out to Minmus. All right, she's 46 kilometers away. Let's go ahead and time warp a bit. 40 kilometers. Looking up here. 30 kilometers. 20. 10. All right, let's slow down. Yeah, we're actually going a little bit slower than last time, which is fine. So let's slow down to about a relative speed of 100 meters per second. And let's get closer. I'm going to come over here so that we can push the retrograde marker and tighten our approach. 330 meters, that is pretty good. Alright, let's just slow way down. Slow down to a stop. And it looks like the sun is about to come up on the horizon. Alright, Bo is going to have a little bit more of an EVA trip, but it's not that bad. There we go. We're at a relative stop. Let's go say hello to Bo Kerman, who is a scientist. All right, let's, yep, here's another one of these cockpits. Hey, Elric. There's your fanfare. Thank you very much for the subscription and welcome. We are doing all the rescues today. This is number 3, and look at that, the sun coming up. This is Bo Kerman. So she's gonna go on EVA. Let go, turn on your helmet lights and your jetpack. Not an evil one. And Elric redeeming, hydrate and caffeinate. All right, thank you. I don't have my drink cam on today, Elric. It was a hurried setup today, and also I'm very tired, so we're doing caffeinate instead of boozinate. There's the hydrate, thank you very much, and caffeinate. There we go. And let's see. Hello. Oh, she's having a great time. Let's get our selfie. Yeah, Bo Kerman. We've rescued Luli, Evil Kaylee, and now Bo. All right, let's take a look at our target. 500 meters away almost. Well, that's not a problem. And Think Onions with the first but not really. Hello again, Think Onions. Welcome. You are first, but not really. Twiglet was real first. Let's push it. Punch it, as they say. Slow down. All right, are we here? Let's see. Well, that's annoying. All right, I'm refreshing this window. There we go. There it is. All right, so Steve said, and I was the savior, so I suppose I'm the real winner here. It's true. It's true. I was all in a panic until you showed up. Thought I killed you with my overbearing savior complex. All right, let's hope that it refreshes things like viewer list and everything soon, so we're good. All right, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, that wasn't even, that's a new one. I have actually never had OBS just crash before. I've had the game crash before, and I've had my PC crash before, but never. Hey, we get 2 firsts today, though. Hi, Satan. Saying, hello, Dan, how you doing? And redeeming the first. Yes. Hello, Satan. But yeah, that was weird. My second monitor just flashed white for a second, and OBS was just gone. But that's at least a quick return. Thanks, OBS. All right. Bo Kerman, 3rd rescue of the day. And just head on over to that door. And board. There we go. 3 rescues so far. Oh, there we go. That's better. All right, so let's see what we've got here. That was 3, and we need to return them now to the station. So let's choose Arcadia Station and set that as our target, which means now we need to raise our orbit again. So let's set up a maneuver here. And we want to take a look at our periapsis, which will be changing. That's the one. And we want that at about 150 kilometers. There we go. I knew that at least you or Twiglet would be adding to the queue today, Satan. But that is perfect. Kerman the Frog. So, oh, we're gonna make an attempt at maybe Kerman San Diego today too. Thank you, Satan, for that one. We are working our way through the backlog of rescues, so I knew that more would be added, and that's fantastic. So, what do you think? Would Kerman be Kerman the Frog? Would he be a pilot, a scientist, or an engineer? That's a good question. All right, and let's see. We want intersects, and let's see when we should do this. Oh, we don't want that. Let's zero that out. There we go. We want to move it. Almost an entire orbit. Looks like the optimum time for a burn is about there. Actually, it's going to be just over one orbit. So let's add an orbit to this. 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2. Look at that. We can get a 0.6 kilometer separation with that. But let's see if we can get even better. We have a relative inclination of 0.1 degrees. That's not too bad. We are at the relative ascending node, though, so means... Oh. Alright, that's about as good as it is going to be. Scientist, says Satan. Okay, let me add that to my notes here. Let's see... Yeah, we have Twig King. Okay, so I can move that. I had to actually organize them. Let's see. Kerman the Frog, a scientist. All right. So that will be in an upcoming stream. All right, so in 31 minutes, we do a 60 meter per second burn. Let's go ahead and time warp to here. And since we are in the lower orbit, we are the ones that are going to be catching up to the station. You can see us getting closer and closer as we come around this orbit. And right here is the perfect spot for us to do our burn to raise our orbit to meet the station. So that's what we're doing. Let's point towards the maneuver marker. Find that on the nav ball. At least my sound sources are still set after that OBS crash, because they were not set when I started. Even though they're always set. Even checked with the Windows update and everything, but nope, it still reset them. Thanks, Windows. Alright, there we go, and in 3 minutes we will do our burn. It's a 5-second burn at full thrust, so we're probably going to do something like 1/3 thrust. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ignition. Looking good. And there it is. All right, and we have an approach, separation at approach of 466 meters. So let's go ahead and do that. That's when we come back around in 14 minutes. Yeah, there's the station way over there in the distance. We can see it. It is that tiny speck that my mouse is pointing to. I think it's big enough that depending on your screen resolution, you can probably see it. And right off to the right, we have another piece of debris. And over there in space is Duna. We've sent something there. All right, we are ascending and approaching Arcadia Station from below. It is 107 kilometers away now. Now it's within 100 kilometers, so it's actually being highlighted on the HUD. You can see it there in green. $40 kilometers away. 30. And we're going a relative speed of about 100 kilometers, or 100 meters per second. Or kilometers per second. Oh geez, that'd be wild. We have nothing that can go that fast. Alright, we're 10 kilometers away. Let's go ahead and point retrograde to the target. There we go. Alright, and let's get a little bit closer before we start decelerating. 5 kilometers. 4. Alright, right about now we should start decelerating. We don't want to overshoot. There we go. Just under 30 meters per second relative to our target. That is pretty good. And our separation and approach is under 300 meters, so really good. And there's our little pause as it loads the station into the physics engine. So soon we're going to actually see the details. Yeah, we can see all the fuel tanks sticking off of it. This thing is huge now. Alright, let's pull up alongside it and come to a stop. Yeah, there are big orange fuel tanks right there. And another little fuel tank there. There we go. Alright, so now let's open up this stocking port. Control from here and activate the camera. And let's come in for our docking with 3 brand new crew members. Alright, turn on our maneuvering thrusters. Let's monitor our fuel. And let's time warp as we approach, and we're going to see it take a curved path relative to us because every path in space is curved. And we can choose our docking port now. Maybe. Do we have a good enough view? Yes. Here is our docking port. We want that one right there. So now we need to line up and make our approach. This view is particularly good when it is dark like this. But also, it is the most realistic and the most convenient way to dock. We're passing it. There we go. Come on. Full power to these maneuvering thrusters. There we go. That's better. All right, now we can go back to fine control. And here we go. And dock. Perfect docking. Okay, and that all looks really good. And let's see. We've got Bowsy Kerman, that's another viewer redeemed. On board the station, Alpin Kerman, another viewer redeemed. Dan Bear Derp was redeemed by Elric the Troll King. Optimus Prime Kerman was redeemed by Satan. Eric was a randomly generated one. Pee-wee Kerman was redeemed by Satan, needs to be sent home. Issa as well. Issa's scrap, I think, have we already recovered that? Let's double check here. Yes, we have recovered Issa's scrap. So this is one that wanted us also to recover her ship for inspection. And we did that last time, 2 weeks ago. So we just need to bring Issa home now for that contract. Tizon was one that was randomly generated early on, so was Philip Brewer. Raider is our friend Raider. Luli, we just rescued. Manchi was redeemed by Nia. Evil Kaylee, we just rescued. And Bo, we just rescued. Okay, so we have a couple of options for sending them home. We don't have any of our traditional DERP modules, our deployable emergency return pods. But we do have these two passenger capsules. Let's, the sun is about to come up, so let's time warp just a bit so we can get some light. It's really dark here, especially for on stream. There's the sun. There we go. And now we can see. Look at that. That's so much better. But yeah, we have this one here, and we have that one there, and these are both rated for returning crew. They can return 3 at a time, and Tizon is aboard here. He doesn't have to go home. He can stay on duty here. And here we already have Pee-wee and Issa. Alright, so this one is ready to send some guys back. And this is full. We don't really want that to be full. That's not what I wanted to move. Yeah, that would be a waste of fuel if we just set that home. And that is full as well. Those really don't need to be full. So let's actually empty these out, except for a little bit. Monopropellant. That is full. We just want to make sure that we have enough delta V to send it back into the atmosphere. Steve says, love that acronym for that. The acronym for that is DERP. That's genius. Thank you. Let's see. Pro Kitman named my rover because since I'm Dan Bear Pig, I like to have Man Bear Pig themed things, and I can never remember, so I made a what it stands for. So I made a command, Piglet. So he named my rover the Piglet Rover, the profuse integration of geologic exploration and telecommunications. But yeah, so we've got a few missions called DERP actually, because we also have the Duna Exploration Research Probe. We also have the Comet Research and Prospecting Probe, CRAP, and we have our Comet Detection Telescope, which is the Celestial Object Vector Intercept Detection Probe, COVID. So yeah, we have a few acronyms here that are fun, to say the least. So yeah, let's open up the Fuel Balancer mod, and let's find this tank. These are all the tanks that are docked here, and this is Rockomax X200-32. That one right there. Okay, so let's pump the fuel out. And the oxidizer out as well. And if that is that one, then probably this is, yes, that one. Perfect. And what about this? That is another X216. Probably that one. Nope. Max X200-16. There it is. All right, let's pump the fuel out of that as well. This is some great acronyms, says Steve. I'm glad you like them. I am amused, so that's all I really need. But if everyone else is also amused, that's even better. All right, we can stop pumping. And let's transfer crew. We need to transfer from here. Let's take Luli. We rescued her first, so let's put her here. Listen to her crawling through the tubes and tunnels. Yes, Amikali is amused. Nice. All right. And here's the trick. We might need to give this thing a little bit of a boost. But we do have monopropellant. Let's pump some monopropellant out too. Let's fill this thing up with monopropellant. Let's see which one. Not those. That is an FLR 750. Where are those here? Oh, right here. Right in front of me, I'm blind. Okay, pump out. Alright, those are full, and we have 4 of them. So, but this is a big guy. So let's use the space forklift. Let's give these guys a little bit of a lift. Undock. All right, and the space forklift. Undock. He's a chunky boy, yes. Yes. And I could put some fuel in there, but I would have a hard time balancing it properly. So even with the fuel balancer mod, so I'm not going to worry about that. Instead, we're just going to give it a lift with our forklift. What it's for. But yeah, this guy, very balanced right around here, very tight center of mass, and a decent amount of thrust with relatively efficient engines. And it's got that docking port there. Its whole point is to pick things up and move them around. And it does a good job. Let's set that as our target. Use our camera mod and look through the docking port camera. Find our target. There it is. And this should pay us pretty nicely too, finishing these contracts up. And as usual, I'm going to post all the rescue selfies on Twitter, as is tradition. All right. This is real time now, and we need to slow down a bit. There we go, 0.4 meters per second. 0.2. And there we are, docked. All right, so now, yeah, we're in orbit mode, and so let's make sure we are controlling from here. We weren't. Excellent. Glad I checked. It's Twitter Dan. Let me do the think this works. There it is, right there. All right, we are pointed retrograde, so we just need to watch our periapsis drop below 70 kilometers. There we go. I'm going to put it right above that and let the this RCS do the last bit of work. Undock. Get out of the way of that. It's decided to turn around, so there we go. And yeah, we need Arcadia Station to be our target. And let's book it back before it drifts too far away. There we go. Yeah, this thing really moves. That was not sped up. That was real time. This thing, when it's not carrying a payload, it is nimble. I really like this thing. This is so fun to fly. All right, let's go back to this camera. And keep an eye on our target. Danbury Pig was taken by me. Here's the thing. I decided after a little while that I wanted to make sure that I was just talking about fun things like space and Minecraft and not getting into pointless political arguments. So I abandoned Danbury Pig, became Danbury Pig 2, and just talk about the fun things, because there's not time for all of that stuff. So, whole lot less stress in my life. Because no one's going to be changing anyone's minds on Twitter, right? So there's no point. Alright. Let's dock right here. So yes, Danbury Pig was taken, but it was taken by me. Alright, returning to our home at Arcadia Station. Even Arcadia is a bear-themed thing, so Arcus and Callisto are the names of the bears that are the Little and Big Dipper, respectively. So, and Arcadia was a city named for Arcus the bear, so Arcadia Station. Alright, and let's go back to the map, and let's take a look at Crew Transporter. Let's switch to it. That is our ship returning our crew. Yes, it's not exactly wrong for a lot of people to say that Twitter can be a very unpleasant experience, but it really is what you make of it. And I have very carefully curated my experience there, so I actually have made a lot of really great friends that I probably wouldn't be friends with in other circumstances, and I'm really glad I made the decision I did, so it's been great. And yeah, RCS on, and full throttle. Let's, yep, our periapsis is dropping, and it is below 70 kilometers, so we will be entering Kerbin's atmosphere. Yeah, so basically the only political conversation I allow myself to get into is discussing whether or not the Space Launch System is a colossal waste of money or not. It might fly in a couple weeks here, though. That would be cool. I hope it works. All right, 50 kilometers. Let's go ahead and speed things up here. These are very low thrust engines. They're designed primarily for maneuvering, not for big orbit changes. All right, let's stop it there. We're gonna have a periapsis of 23 kilometers. That's pretty good. And in fact, once we enter the atmosphere, we're going to detach all of this bulk and only be this part of the ship, and we're going to re-enter heat shield first. And Pee-wee, Issa, and Luli are going to have a great time, return home, and enjoy all the snacks. All right, here we are, entering the atmosphere. And we want... let's go ahead and use these. Let's dispose of this to the side here, like this. Decouple. There we go. And that's a cool screenshot, actually. There we go. I love the screenshots. Never apologize for it. Steve says, I have mastered the art of ignoring people who have harmful takes. Just live my life. There's no reason I have to entertain them. Yeah, exactly. All right, and this thing is actually aerodynamically stable. We're using the reaction wheels to keep it steady, but we don't have to. And in fact, we will turn them off here not too long. All right, we got the reentry effects on. Let's actually turn off stability assist and just let aerodynamics take it from here. And of course, we're coming down at night. Oh well, that's all right. Let's have some fun with the camera tools. There's that sonic boom. All right, what did they see? Nice. Switch Kerbal view. There we go. That is dramatic. Yep, they're being pushed back in their seats, too. What are the G-forces right now? Just under 1G. It will increase as we get into the thicker atmosphere here. Coming down at 2 kilometers per second. Screaming through the atmosphere. Over 1G now. There's no turning back. What are they saying? Fire. That's Twiglets, isn't it? Yep, Twiggle too fine. I love that emote. Alright, the fire is subsiding, but they are experiencing nearly 3 Gs, 2.5 Gs right now. Actually, not that bad. Pretty gentle. Alright, now we can speed the game up a little bit more. At about 2 kilometers above the surface, we will deploy the parachutes. Go ahead and mouse over this so it's highlighted and easier to see on the stream. We're 10 kilometers above the terrain, down on Kerbin's grasslands. That's perfect. Alright. Deploying the parachutes. And they're not fully deployed yet. They'll stay like that until right now. There we go. And look at that. They got a jolt of about 14 Gs as that slowed down. And now we're going a very sedate 6.6 meters per second. Middle of the night. Down onto Kerbin's grasslands. So at least we're not coming down on the mountains. That's always rough. All right, we're at 500 meters. 400 meters. 300 meters. 200. 100. Let's slow the game down to real time. And there we are. We are gently landed safely on Kerbin's surface. Recover vessel. And all that extra hardware safely burned up in the atmosphere, not littering space, possibly dropping little flaming bits of metal in someone's backyard. There we go. And we didn't get any science from that because we've done it so many times. But we got some extra money from recovering some parts. We have 3.8 million Spaceos right now. And yep, Pee-wee Kerman, Issa Kerman, and Luli Kerman all rescued and ready to go for a new mission. Beautiful. And we got some notifications here. Yep, saved Luli. She is now part of the crew. We saved Evil Kaylee. She's part of the crew. She's not brought home yet. We saved Bo. She's part of the crew. And Pee-wee Kerman has been recovered. So has Issa and Issa Scrap and Luli Kerman. Very good. Let's take a look at mission control. Yeah, we're not going to take either of those contracts, but active contracts we still have. We have Bo, we have Evil Kaylee, we have Kerman San Diego, Matt Ranger, we have Google, the Kerbinator, the Warden, and Twig King. So yeah, we still have a lot. And have any that need to be renamed? I do not. Okay, so I need to update my notes real quick. Alright, so let's do this live. Oops. That's the one. Okay, so here is the console window with it has cheat options, which sometimes are useful for testing. We don't use it here, but we are going to use the contract tool and generate a recover asset mission. Let's go ahead and pick one of significant difficulty. And let's see what it gave us. Rescue Tomfen from Orbit of Minmus. So Tomfen will be renamed to Kerman the Frog. And that will be in the future. I could do it right now. I don't really feel like closing and then reopening the game right now, though. So we'll see. And all right, let's close that. Let's accept that mission. And let's see, what are our alarms? We're still 7 days away from our Dres 1 correction burn. Let's go back to the tracking station, and let's go back to our station, and let's do an even more difficult rescue mission. We are all about these rescues today, and let's see. Yeah, Matt Ranger's wreckage here. Kerman San Diego is here. Google Scrap is out there. Twig King is out there, and Tomfen is down there. Okay, so the easier ones to do are Matt Ranger and Kerman San Diego. Let's go for them. They're both in pretty much the same orbit. So is Tomfen. Actually, it might be worth it to do that rename right now. Let's actually do that. Alright, I'm going to close this saved game. It will only take a moment. And I make these edits in Notepad++, believe it or not. One nice thing about this game is that the save game file is very easy to read and safe to edit, but I will still make a backup. So quit to main menu. And on my other monitor, I'm going to open the save game folder for Kerbal Space Program. And first, I'm going to back it up. All right, so I have a backup. And I need to find Tomfen in here. And in fact, let's do this. Let's add a window to our thing. Let's just show this. And Notepad. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Let's in fact magnify it a bit. There we go. So if I do this, And can you see? Okay, you can see my mouse. You can't see that I've got the find window up. That's okay. But if I look for Tomfin, I count 9 matches in the file. That's normal. So let's replace with Herman the Frog. And in fact, we're going to replace Tomfin Herman with Herman the Frog. And replace all. That replaced 8, which is perfect. So now we need to do just Tomfin. All right. Kerman the Frog's wreckage. All right, and now one more thing I need to do is make sure that he is, what did he say? He said a scientist, so we do find Kerman the Frog. Count 9 matches, perfect, and let's find, okay, Kerbal. Male, already a scientist, perfect, so we don't need to change anything. All right, we are ready to go. I have saved. Let's not show that anymore. Let's go back to our game. So now, if I resume saved, and we go to Stock Final Approach, my very creatively named save. Now what we should see is, instead of Rescue Tomfin, we should see Kerman the Frog. And let's see. There is rescue. Yes, rescue Kerman the Frog from orbit. Let's see. And there's another fun thing I did in here. Let's see if it worked. Yeah. Oh. There it is. Okay, yes. This objective is called Where in Space is Kerman San Diego? Oh, and I think I didn't change to a female Kerbal. I might have to change that later. All right, but there we go. So that makes sense because if we go back to the tracking station and we look here at Kerman the Frog's wreckage, yes, all 3 of these rescue contracts are in the same orbit, different positions of the same orbit. So we can do what we just did, but for this orbit. So we get into this orbit, and then it's very easy to pick up all 3. Kerman the Frog, Matt Ranger, and Kerman San Diego. So, all right, let's do it. Let's go to Arcadia Station. Steve says, well, enjoy your space adventures, Dan. I have my own adventure to tackle, and that is the journey to making Japanese milk bread. Well, that sounds like a fascinating adventure and experiment. I hope it turns out super delicious. I'm not familiar with Japanese milk bread. But yeah, thank you for hanging out, Steve. It's been good to have you here, and have a fun rest of your day. All right, so we've got aboard Philip Brewer and Raider. Let's transfer Philip out. And let's bring Bowsy aboard as the co-pilot. Actually, let's bring an engineer, just in case. So, transfer. And you go to your quarters right here. And actually, let's give Raider a break, too. He has been doing a lot of flying. Let's make Bowsy our pilot for this mission. So let's transfer crew. Raider, you can go to here. Now we have to find Bowsy. All right, where are you, Bowsy? Right there. Okay, perfect. Second try. First, second try. All right, Bowsy Kerman, welcome aboard. You are pilot for this mission. And let's double check our fuel tanks as well. It looks like we are full. Perfect. And I don't think we need engineer necessarily, and we're probably going to rescue one. Let's double check our contracts. All right, yeah, Bo and Evil Kaylee still need to come home. Yes. I didn't know that's where it would show up, but that's hilarious. Okay, so yeah. Kermit the Frog, Matt Ranger, and Kermit San Diego, they're all standard rescues. They're just around a different celestial body, so we don't have to rescue their ships. Just the Kerbals. That's perfect. So yeah, we don't need an engineer for this mission, and we will be rescuing one anyway. So undock. And check our fuel levels again. Yep, we are great. Full on fuel and on monopropellant. Nearly full on fuel. As close as makes no difference. Alright, let's get some clearance here. And yeah, we still have the grabber on the front. That's alright. We don't need to worry about it. And let's make Minmus our target. Minmus is at a 6-degree inclination, so we need to see where we'll meet it. There's Minmus there. By the time we get out to that orbit, Minmus will have moved to about there, I think. So we're not at an optimum time for it, but that's okay. Let's add a maneuver right there and see how close we can get. Look at that. Look at me just eyeballing that. That's really good. It's like I've gone to Minmus a few times or something. Alright, give me just a moment. I'm going to hit the cough button real quick. Sorry about that. Better a bit of dead air than blowing my nose right in your ears. Alright. And we're going to want a little bit, when we get here, of radial up. Pete says, wait, you've been to Minmus? I mean, not me, but I've sent Kerbals there before. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay, and that actually overshoots, so let's do that, and then at the descending node, we will make a correction burn. So yeah, 874 meters per second, and that's coming up in 17 minutes. It's a 1.5 minute burn, so we will be doing that at full thrust. Kit! Redeeming a hydrate, and first but not really. Welcome, Kit! I will hydrate. I don't have my drink cam today. Didn't have time to set things up. Was at a family lunch. Went a bit long. I knew it would. I was prepared for it. So we started a bit late. And also I am dead tired, so we're doing caffeinate instead of boozinate. Breaking news, says Kit. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is it the bad news that I am aware of, or is it different news? And yes, welcome, Kit. We just did 3 rescues, and we're about to do 3 more. Okay, 5 minutes to our burn. Let's point prograde, which is very near our maneuver vector. So yeah, we're going to rescue Matt, Ranger, Kerman. Oh, breaking news for the Possibot. I knew it would come. Yes, yes indeed. But first, the weather. Alright. And let's actually point right at it, because by the time we are ready to burn, we'll be real close to actual prograde. Oh, Kit, I finished digging out all that netherrack. Finally. Oh, the netherrack wasn't even the annoying part. The annoying part was all the things trying to kill me while I did it. I never want to see another ghast in my life. Ever. Unless it's my prisoner and I'm torturing it. Still have a little bit of the bastion to tear down, but that's going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience, and I can actually build the stinking thing. I only lost, I think, a total of about 7 or 8 picks. Every netherite pick I have ever made has now broken. Oh, there's that. All right, we are going to burn in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ignition.
Actually, it's going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Exactly. I mean, the upside is I have caught up on so many YouTube series that I was behind on.
Me up, laughing at other people's misfortunes.
You're so rude to me, kid. Why are you so mean to me? I'm only ever nice to you. Seriously, I'm only ever nice to you, and you're just so rude all the time. Gosh. I need better friends. Jeez. But yeah, I've caught up on quite a few YouTube series that I was behind on. Watched several episodes of Grand Tour on Amazon, which is another one I'm behind on. And caught up with several streamers that I haven't gotten to watch in a while. Burning the pics, yes. And yeah, it's been great. Overall. Lots of hours breaking netherrack. Right. Okay. But yeah, who did we rescue just now? We rescued Luli Kerman, we rescued Bo Kerman, and we rescued Evil Kaylee. Kaylee's evil twin. Mentor's great. Yes, it is. I've only watched one season so far, and I started on season 2. Watched their Columbia special. That was certainly something. Oh boy. All right, let's gently do this last little bit. Only 20 meters per second to make up this last bit of gap. It's wild just how much the leverage increases. Just like that, and we still need to make an adjustment at the descending node. And Kit says, I've just been at an apartment pool party all afternoon. And I went to a pool party too, at some of my my cousin's place. It took my kids a little bit to warm up to the pool, but they did. All right, so it's a descending node, so we need to point normal. And let's warp there. That's in 17 minutes. And let's go ahead and pin that. And we need to adjust our inclination because we're going to be aiming for an equatorial orbit for once. It's a great day for it. Yeah. Other than that, it's a great day to stay inside. Alright, and let's just watch us exert force to lever that right up there. And there is our approach. Alright, I'm watching our relative inclination continue to drop. That's about as good as that is going to get. And it's really good, too. Okay, and we're going to be... Wow, it's going to take us a while to get up there, isn't it? Actually, it's looking at the next orbit, so let's... Focus Minmus. There we go. Alright, yeah, 12 days. So, before we get there, we're actually going to have our Dres correction burn, and we're going to get there just in time for our Moho transfer window. So, should we launch something to Moho or not? We do have a Moho probe on its way. Yeah. I think we should launch to Moho. I think we should. So we're going to get here, and we're going to get our capture orbit, and then we're going to change tracks briefly, and we're going to launch to Moho. But before we even get here, we're going to have to change tracks briefly and take a look at our Dres probe. So let's just do that now. Let's see, 1.9 million meters. And is it the right way around? I think it is. Yeah, it is the right way around. Excellent. So let's plan maneuver here and just see what radial in is going to do for us. Nothing. But radial out. We'll drop our periapsis. Okay, so we want to push radial out. Oh no, that is radial in. I had them backwards. Derp. Pete Mengman says, Moho, Moho will make the launch window. Oh, to the Houghton. Moho, Moho will make the launch window. Wow. You are fired. That's what. Alright, I need to stand for a second. Stretch my legs. Because boy, am I getting old. Alright. Well, and no, that is not doing what I wanted it to do. Okay, it was radial out that I need, after all. I can't sing, says Pete. It can sing too. But only about nerdy stuff like math. Jeez, I would never sing about anything nerdy. Ever. Alright, we're going to change our periapsis back here where it's really cheap. And this is real periapsis, not projected periapsis. Alright, that will do right there. I like that. Yeah, that's really, really good shot. In fact, let's get a little bit closer. There we go. I like that. Very good, and we'll be there in 11 days and 5 hours, so we'll actually be there before our Moho launch window. So that is good. Let's now switch to our Dres probe. And let's prepare for that correction burn, and hopefully I haven't given myself too much lead time there. I think we'll be fine. Yeah, we've got our lander here too. Okay. Yeah, we've done this one a little bit differently. I don't remember if this was a previous design or what, but yeah, this one is different. So... Alright, so our correction, let's take a look at our situation for Dres. We're going to arrive at Dres when? In 113 days. That's not too bad at all. And I think this is not a real correction burn. I think this was just so that we take a look. Because our periapsis, 31 million meters. Let's see. Let's focus Dres. Let's actually make a maneuver here. Bring it a lot closer, actually. A lot closer. As in half an hour from now. There we go. And let's not focus on the sun, let's focus on Dres. There we go. Now we can really see what we are doing. Wow. Yeah. That's a ways out. So what we need to do, there's a descending node over there. So if we burn normal, yeah, that brings us closer real quick. And really cheap too if we do it out here. And we don't need that periapsis. We only care about this periapsis. Let's see, radial in. That also brings us closer. Ooh, that's real close. We don't want to be that close. All right, that's really good. So that is a 13.3 meter per second burn that gets us 30 million meters closer than we would have been otherwise. That's why we're doing it now instead of later, because it's really cheap. And in fact, at full thrust, that's 0.8 seconds, so we're very much not doing that at full thrust. Okay, let's point towards that maneuver. Like that. And let's time warp for about 20 minutes. Get right up on that maneuver. All right, and now just very gently. In fact, let's delete that and let's watch our periapsis move in real time. 10 million meters, megameters. I like megameters. 5 megameters. All right, 900 kilometers. There we go. That's really good. All right, and that's our Dres periapsis. Let's go back to the alarm. We can delete this now. We don't need that. But we should make a new alarm, and it should be a sphere of influence change. And this is Dres 1, right? Yeah. Dres 1, Dres encounter, and let's do 1 day of advanced notice. And there we go. Dres Exploration and Research Probe. That's another one named Derp. Oh, excellent. I love it. All right, and so now let's go back to Kerbal and take a look at our pork rescue vehicle, which has made it this far so far, and switch back. Back again, says Git. Welcome. My coffee is cold now, but still delicious. I'm not a fan of iced coffee, but it's a little bit different when just through time my coffee has assumed room temperature. Still delicious. Just walked back from the pool. Very good. All right, yeah, 9 days to Kerbal apoapsis. It looks like we're coming up over the top. All right, that's why it was backwards from what I was expecting for radial in and radial out, because it wasn't while we were ascending, it was while we were coming back down. Got a little toasted. Uh-oh. Are you bright red? Is that I've got puns, but they're all insensitive to other cultures, so I'll refrain. So that's the only things that are coming to mind. All right, so let's look at this again. And yeah, Moho transfer window in 12 days. Apoapsis in 9 days. Minmus encounter in 11 days. There we go. Not bright, but some spots are a little more burned than others. Uh-oh. You're a pro kitman, toasted waffle, that's what you are. Rather be toasted in another way, the Colorado way. Oh. I understand, Kit. I understand. Alright, let's just warp 7 days. Here comes Minmus. Pete says, Dan's ships always look cool. Mine tend to look like they are Frankenstein together with secondhand Soviet parts. That's also cool. It's a different aesthetic. And that's part of the reason I decided to stream some of these things. Is one, it turns single-player games into multiplayer, because I'm not just playing Kerbal Space Program, I'm playing it while hanging out with people. And two, it discourages me from taking shortcuts. That's my big problem, is I take shortcuts. And so instead, I'm being watched, so I'm on the top of my game and pushing myself in both this and in Minecraft, and it, I've got to say, has helped immensely with skills. And the proof is that I never, ever derp. Not once, not twice, and certainly not 150 times. Thank you, Setson, for abusing the derp command. But alright, 4 more days until our actual Minmus encounter. Yeah, that's gonna be a thing. Let's warp here. Most of those derps aren't real derps. They're times that I died fighting the Warden on purpose. Oh, that's a cool little orbital plot there. Yeah, that's what Minmus is going to do to my orbit if I don't stop there. And like 40 of those are the Warden. Yep. Actually about 40, so 36 of those, in fact, because he gave me a derp every time I died to that first Warden. Every single time. Even though that was the plan. It's not that I wanted to die, it's that I knew I would. Alright, let's time warp. Okay, while we're in time warp, it calculates things differently and we lose that encounter. So let's warp to here, and it should give it back to us. Yes, good. 4 minutes. Let's just keep getting incrementally closer. Not let this game rob us of our Minmus encounter. Look at this. We would just kind of vortex around, get swung around that way. Massive change in inclination. Alright, 25 seconds. If I do physics warp, we won't be on rails, and this will work. Excellent. Now we are in point of reference of Minmus, and we are going to be at Minmus Periapsis in 2.5 hours. And let's just make sure. Let's choose one of these. Kermit the Frog set as the target. Kermit the Frog was redeemed by Satan today, so I edited the save file live. That was actually really fun. And yeah, we have an 11.6 degree inclination. That's actually really good. We can do that, but what we're going to do is warp to our periapsis and just get our capture orbit for now. Coming up on periapsis in 22 minutes. Pointing retrograde. And yes, we are coming the right way. We can see all 3 of our targets moving in the direction we are. They're all in prograde orbits. That makes this relatively straightforward. We're going in ascending order of difficulty on these rescues. Alright, let's go ahead and full throttle and get our capture orbit. And then we will make our next launch to Moho. There is our capture orbit. We can actually get our Yeah, we can get lower. We don't want to get too low because it's cheaper to. Yeah, that's in 5 hours. Yeah, we want to just do this right now. Yeah, it's cheaper at higher altitude where we're going slower to adjust our inclination. So we're going to do that there. All right, so we're going to leave this behind for now. Let's go to the Space Center. And before we make our mission, let's examine our current missions to Moho and see what we need. All right, so first let's look at mission control. Explore Moho. Orbit and return to Kerbal. We're not ready for those. They pay a lot, but we're not quite ready for that. We could probably do it. Yeah. Orbit and return. Jeez. That's a lot of Delta V. That is an insane amount of Delta V, so nope. No thank you. Well, let's go to the tracking center. And let's turn on probes. Moho Probe 1 is not on an escape trajectory out of the sun, thank you very much. But it is going real fast, and it's already past Moho, so that is not one that we're working on. Moho Probe, yeah, that one is no good. Moho Probe 1B is a similar situation, but that one actually was able to give us some science, I believe, if I recall correctly. Let's see, Joule, Moho Research Expedition, MRE. This one also already passed Moho, I think. And let's see, what is Moho Probe 2? Yep, there are our telescopes, Dres mission, Joule mission, Duna mission. Comet mission, and here it is, Moho Research Expedition 2. So this one will be Moho Research Expedition 3, and really this should be Research Expedition 3, but we're a little weird on the names here, so that's okay. All right, Moho Research Expedition 2 will reach Moho in 6 days. Yeah, okay, so we're going to be seeing that today, too. Wow, okay, more eventful day than I thought. All right. Kit says, I never got a consistent naming system. Yes, I'm trying real hard. That's another thing that I'm trying harder for is names, because I get lazy on the names when I'm playing just by myself. There's a lot of untitled spaceship. And Bowser with the first but not really, and the Caffeinate. All right, Bowser, I don't have a drink cam today. There wasn't time to set one up. But I have one last gulp of this coffee. You are the first to redeem the one that finishes my... No booze today, Bowser. I'm too tired. I needed coffee, not booze. I'm sorry. I need proof. Just gonna have to trust me, Bowser. Jeez. So, Bowser being from Australia, I was talking to her. My kids have been watching a show called Bluey, which is made in Australia and is actually a really great kids show. Like, I watch it with them because it's funny. It's fantastic. And they, of course, make the standard dad joke where, you know, I'm bored. Hi, bored, I'm dad. So I was hanging out with some of my nieces and nephews today, and one of my nieces said, I'm bored. And so I said, hi, bored, I'm Dan. And she said, oh, that's from Bluey. Yeah. And Bowser, I knew that Bluey would be a good fit when I had already made the baby butt bongos joke and would play baby butt bongos with my kids. And then I watched episode 1 and he plays the baby bum bongos. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, they wrote this show for me. So, yep, that's the thing. All right, back on track. Let's look at this show, Let's look at this probe. See what it's got. What it has is a remaining 3 kilometers per second delta V in this stage, and another 1.8 in this stage. So this is going to be interesting. I went ahead and deployed all the solar panels so that we don't forget that, like we did with the Eve probe. Mind us on Bluey now. No, it's funny, and I guess there's a season 3 out now, so we got even more episodes to watch, and there are a lot of episodes. So yeah, we're hoping to get an orbit and a landing. So yeah, we're at least going to get the orbit for sure. So I think what we should do is just send a lander, a really hefty lander with all of the science experiments on it. So that's what we want. Whether this one succeeds or not, we just want a lander. So that's what we're going to go design real quick. We're going to modify this very mission here. Or we could send a resource scanner. Let's do that. Let's send a resource scanner. Yep, I'm changing my mind. Let's send a resource scanner. Yep, vehicle assembly building. And what we can do with that is find where there are ore concentrations, and soon we will have unlocked some tech that will let us drill for ore and refine it to fuel. Cough button again for just a moment. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't want to sneeze in your ear, though. Let me deactivate the caffeinate too, since I'm out of coffee. There we go. Alright. We have Moho Research Expedition 2. Let's load that. Let's actually remove all of that. Let's undo that, actually. Let's delete the fairing. And let's remove this. So here is what we have on its way to Moho right now. This relay satellite and this lander. So let's take the lander off. And let's work with this. And this alone has 3.3 kilometers per second of delta V, which is great. We don't necessarily need this much communication, but it doesn't hurt to have it, so let's, unless we're hurting for weight, oh, good relay sat, me too. Oh, I cannot wait. When we unlock the biggest antennas, we're going to do a deep space network, and it's going to be spectacular. It's a project that I've always wanted to do, never quite gotten to, and it's going to be fun. But let's go to science, and what we have here is the M700 survey scanner. And if we pop that right here, it's a big guy. Oh, come on. Pop it on straight. There we go. And let's, in fact, change this angle here. Okay, local mode, good. There we go. And deploy the scanner, and it's going to be like this. Yeah. It says, I wanted to make an L3 relay station, never did it though. Yeah. So I've been trying to think of ways that Kerbal Space Program could implement the Lagrange points without having to get physics so realistic that it is impossible for new players to actually figure out. Because I know there's the Copernicus mod, which is insane. Yeah, L3, yeah. 3-body physics don't exist here, exactly. So without going past just 2-body physics, if you could get something into the specific spot, at the perfect orbit, then you could put it on rails simulating the Lagrange points. That would not be too difficult to implement, I think. And so I hope there's something like that for Kerbal Space Program too, because Lagrange points would be so fun to play with, but to do it right, you have to actually use the Copernicus mod, and it is absolutely insane. Just could put it in a theoretical Kerbal orbit. Yes, exactly. And that's what I'm thinking of having, like, if I have an orbit here around Kerbal, and then here is Kerbin, and then I just put things equidistant, like 4 or maybe 6, including Kerbin as one of the satellites. So, and just spread things out in an even orbit, and with really massive communications and power generation. That's what I want to do. So we can just communicate everywhere effortlessly. Alright, so yeah, there's that, and what this will do is, if we're in the right orbit, we can scan the surface for resources that we can later go and drill. Let's see. And so these are the altitudes we're looking for, anywhere between 25 and 1,500 kilometers. And it depends on the size of the body. So Moho is pretty small, so yeah, this is not going to be too difficult. But we'll get this into a nice low orbit, a somewhat polar orbit, so we get maximum coverage, and this is what we're going to send to Moho. Let's retract the scanner, pop the launcher back on. Can I get that on properly? That's the question. I think if I have something in there, or this, move those. Yeah, this is rough to attach. What do I have for engine plates? Even that is too big. Okay. So let's go to structural and put the tiniest little guy on there. What have we got? We can put an octagonal strut or cubic octagonal strut. I like that. And if I put these here like this, and then adjust their angle, and then shift them. I do too. I love the octagonal struts. They're a lot like the interstage fairings, or not fairings, the interstages on the Soviet rockets for the hot staging. Oh man, the superior strut. Yes. Wish there was a hexagonal strut though, because hexagons are the bestagons. Alright, and we want that to be like this. Although they can be just like that. I'm not sure if I get that reference, Kit. And this, okay, we can attach to that just fine. Did I inadvertently make the same joke as someone else? Because that does happen. We want to get that. Oh, we do not want symmetry there. He has a whole video why hexagons are the best. Okay, so I did make the same joke as somebody. Alright. Hexagons are fantastic, though. I love hexagonal symmetry. Alright, let's see if I can get this onto the right node. Okay, what if I use this mode? Nope, that doesn't help. That doesn't help either. This is going to be rough placement here. Rough, I say. Is that it? That is it, right there. Okay, let's just... Nope, that is not it at all. Alright, here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to shift this down so that I can only reach that, and then shift it back up. Little construction hack. I think there's enough clearance in there. Maybe not. I'm a little bit paranoid about this clipping like that. So if I can get engine, there we go. And put that up just slightly. And the octagonal slut. That's a derp. The octagonal slut. I lost it. Guys, did I tell you I'm tired or what? That's derp number 151. We don't strut shame here. No, we don't. That strut. What a strut. just strutting around right there. You think octagonal strut. Oh my gosh. All right, get it together, Dan. Get it together. Here we go. All right, since I have been watching a lot of Grand Tour, and on that terrible disappointment, no, we're not done yet. We still got 20 minutes. We have time. All right, let's pick up the fairing.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Thank you, Pete Beckman, for that. All right, let's build the fairing. Yeah. Well, that was amazing. There we go. Eyeballed that perfectly on the first try. And there we go. Let's check our staging. So we have we have our main engine, we have our 4 boosters, and we have our launch clamps. There we go. And then we detach our solid boosters, detach our core stage, and launch or ignite the second stage engine. And then we have that decoupler. Yep, the fairing, then that decoupler, then the nuclear engine. We're getting to Moho. Then that decoupler, and then our 3 ant engines. And then we detach those external fuel tanks. Okay, it's perfect. All right, let's just call this resource scanner sat. And so that's a generic name, and we can send that to a whole lot of places. And then we'll rename the missions on the pad, or we can do that, and then we'll call that Moho Resource Scanner, MRS. Holy cow, I must be tired, you guys. But I'm having a great time. I hope you are too. Let's launch this guy. Let's launch the MRS. And yes, as Kit said, we do not strut shame here. All right, let's move that. And there is our rocket. Do we have a booster cam? We sure do. Let's do the booster cam view. And let's turn on our flight recorder. Close that. We don't need the flight manager for recoverable stages. Altitude, acceleration, and dynamic pressure. There we go. Stability assist is on. Throttle is up. And we are go for launch. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Vehicle is pitching downrange. Abort, says Kit. It's too late. You can't abort something once you've started it. Jeez. What do you think? What do you think this is? Too late. Yep. We forgot the payload. Oh no. We forgot the payload. We left it behind. Turn around. We gotta go home. I'll turn this thing around. If you don't quiet down back there, we are supersonic. That should be a point redeem. Abort. I saw someone's we have Max Q as well. I saw someone's Kerbal stream a while back. I'm trying to remember who it was. It's a bigger streamer, one of the few remaining bigger Kerbal streamers. I forgot the snacks, says Elric. Yeah, this is an unmanned mission, and we need the snacks. But okay, we have SRB burnout and separation. But they do a poll, go no go poll, including the viewers. Hopefully, if the channel continues to grow like it is, and we have that regularly, I think we're nearly to a point where we can do that because it is really fun. All right, and we're coming up on main engine cutoff. We have Miko, stage separation, and second engine start. Excellent. Bearing separation is confirmed, and we are on our way to Moho. Let's close this. Look at that little tiny bump in thrust to weight ratio, just by losing the weight of those fairings. I love it. Let's go to about a 300-kilometer orbit, and then make our transfer. There we go. Miko, and beyond. Can't forget and beyond. That's right. Why stop at infinity? Go beyond. All right, let's extend our solar panels before we forget, because that is a thing that we do routinely. Just forget our solar panels. Okay, look at that. And in 5 minutes.
The crowd goes wild.
Yay! Thank you, Bowser. And just under 6 minutes, we will be at our apoapsis. So let's warp to that. And second engine start, number 2. Yeah, we only have 375 kilonewtons of thrust on this engine, but it is one of the most efficient engines in the game. In fact, it is the most efficient of the traditional fuel and oxidizer engines. The only more efficient engines in the game are the ones that burn either or accelerate xenon fuel or the nuclear engine right here. Okay, and we have a circular orbit. Let's take a look. Yeah, we're going to Moho, so we definitely want to be right about where we are, actually. Right here. Let's warp to here. So we are right between Kerbin and the sun. Uh-oh, Twiglet's here again. Twiglet, did you hear my Freudian slip, Twiglet? It was a whole thing.
You know what always cheers me up? Laughing at other people's misfortunes.
What do you mean? Oh, thank you, Bowser. All right. And celestial bodies. Moho is our target. There's Moho right there. Am I that scary? Maybe. All right, and let's start up the second stage engine. Bowser says, I'm gonna head to watch some anime before work. Wow, Bowser. I shall take it personally. Hope you have a good time. I hope you feel good about yourself. And thanks for dropping in to say hello. All right. And we are not going to have enough Delta V in this stage to escape Kerbin, so this is going to be more space junk for Kefri Bezos to pick up as part of his community service. Oh no, no, says Bowser. I'm not in the right mental spot right now. Got sent home from work last night, complete broke down crying. Oh, I'm sorry to hear it, Bowser. I hope work goes okay today. We always appreciate having you here, Bowser. Alright, we're out of fuel there. Stage separation, and start the atomic motor. And get with the double damper totem. Get some Bowser totems in. Let's see. There they are. No worries, Bowser. And yeah, we're going to escape Kerbin. And then set up our maneuver to encounter Moho. And then we have time to pick up our 3 Kerbals that are stranded in orbit of Minmus. Well, 3 of the mini Kerbals that are stranded in orbit of Minmus, thanks mostly to Twiglet redeeming so many Rescue My Kerbals. And Satan. Bowser, we made you the main pilot for this mission, for this rescue mission that is in progress at Minmus. Raider is not retired. He's not on parole. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. He's taking a break. He's on vacation. He's not on parole. Oh my gosh. Kerbin escape in 14 days. All right, what's coming up? That's actually perfect. Let's do a parole. Yeah. Better than witness protection, which is what happens when you get murdered. All right, sphere of influence change, and this will be Moho scanner Kerbin escape, and let's do that. We don't need any advance notice. It'll just be okay. It's left Kerbin sphere of influence, so we can take a look at it now and add the alarm, and that'll be in 13 days. There we go. So that is on its way away from Kerbin. Let's return to Minmus focus view, Pork rescue vehicle, which is right here. Pete Bankman says, murder people don't get witness protection. Excuse me, Pete Bankman, but I have it on good authority by someone who did get murdered that they're now in witness protection, all right? So, I think I know what I'm talking about. Jeez. And we want to go to our ascending node and fix our inclination. That's what we want. So let's warp to here. Pete says, people who see people get murdered get witness protection. Wait. Are you saying I should have witness protection? Because I've seen several murders. Oh, close that. We don't need that. Yes, in 5 days, the Moho encounter for Moho Probe 2. Any total evidence. Excuse me, but I've been murdered several times. I think I know what I'm talking about. And it's an ascending node, so we need to point anti-normal. And this is relative to the inclination of our targets, which are all in perfect equatorial orbits. All right, so let's pin that and let's start burning. And wow, yeah, this is really an inexpensive maneuver here. In fact, let's turn on our maneuvering thrusters and tweak it that way. And now we need to continue onward because that's as much as we can fix it from here. There we go. Twiglet says, anyone that's played on a server with ship knows what you're talking about. Exactly. It's like I was saying during a Kit stream last night, that productivity on the first SMP is inversely proportional to is Shipwreck online. It's a fun time. Very true, yes. Alright, let's see just how perfect we can get this, just for kicks. .06 degrees. 0.04 degrees. We don't need to be this precise. I just want to be this precise. Oh, here we go. Oh, 0.00061 degrees. I think that's fine. Twiglet says, first craft? Productive? That'd be a first. Hey, Twiglet, I'll have you know, I finished clearing all the netherrack below the ceiling, all the netherrack where anything can spawn, within a 128 block radius of my Froglight farm last night. I finally finished it. Now I need to finish tearing down the bastion, and I can build the frog statue in relative peace. Twiglet says, to be fair, I did build a guardian farm in 2 streams. Yeah, and like a lot of a castle. Nearly a speed build. Alright. Good times. Let's go to our periapsis. Wonder if Ship was online. I'm not sure he was for those. That's a good question. The other thing that can really derail productivity is if you log in ready to do a project and a bunch of trees have been planted in your base and all your villagers have been named Devin or something? Kevin. They were all named Kevin. Yeah, that'll really put the brakes on a project, let me tell you. All right, they are all at an altitude of 7,500 meters-ish. 7,500, 7,000, 6,600. So yeah, that's about what we want. Oh my gosh, are we going to get a really great encounter right off the bat? All right, periapsis. Okay, we need the RCS for this. Maybe. There we go. Okay, and watch our fuel. Yeah, we barely touched the monopropellant, but we do want to be careful with the monopropellant. Okay, let's drop down. And yeah, we've lost our precision on the inclination, as we were bound to do. That's why we didn't need that much precision, but it was just fun to be that precise. I have gotten geosynchronous orbits to within tenths of a second before. That's really close. I think we can just do this. And this is for Kerman the Frog, our newest Kerbal redeem. It says, I got some really good circular orbits around Duna within 1 meter. Very nice. It's always so satisfying. Target mode. Okay, there we go. And yeah, we're going relative speed of 20 meters per second. Yeah, so around Minmus, this is going to be even easier than around Kerbin. Now that we've done the hard part and matched orbit, because speeds are so slow that we can do these maneuvers very cheap. We're going to come within 8,500 meters, so let's see if this will adjust. Twiglet says, can you orbit at 1 meter? Seems kind of dangerous. That's a good point. I now call shenanigans on your claim, Twiglet. Pro Kit Man. Shenanigans. Oh, that's also... Okay, so let's get closer and see how this is drifting. It is drifting that way, so... that is not making our orbit any closer. So, let's see. Let's look at that intersect and this intersect. Okay, that one, that's going to be the one. And watch your periapsis, Dan. You don't want to hit. He gets laughing and says, no, the apple parry, we're within 1 meter. Yes. Twiglet says, I once got into Kerbin's orbit and crashed into the sun afterwards. Was it the Kraken? Did you get a Kraken attack? Because that'll do it. Alright, yeah, we are at very low altitude. I think we'll be okay, but we're going to keep an eye on the mountains. We're still over them, so we're good. Alright, this is better. I'm very talented. Talented enough to be king? He says, it's mostly that I don't know what I'm doing in this game. Unlike me, who is perfect and never derps, but somehow managed to get Jebediah Kerman to escape Kerbin orbit instead of returning home from Minmus early on in this career. Whoops. Don't tell anybody. That didn't happen. Alright. So I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to finish these 3 rescues. We're going to do them real quick. And that will be the end of this stream. And next stream we will start right where we left off. And that will be our Moho encounter. And we're going to try to land again on Moho. Alright, we're going to pass within 150 meters of Kerman the Frog. And we're going at a nice, sedate 14.3 meters per second relative velocity, so that'll be easy to shed that velocity. Let's do that now. There we go. All right. Let's go say hello to Kerman the Frog. Kerman the Frog here. Thank you for rescuing me. Who is a scientist. All right, let's reclassify this as Debris. And Kerman, pop out there. See what I did there? All right, let go. Turn on your helmet lights and your jetpack. And oh, he's got a nice mustache, it looks like. Oh yeah, he's got a dapper mustache. All right, head on over to the rescue ship, my guy. And then let's take our selfie, our rescue selfie. Whoa, geez, this is... Woo! This is being a little bit finicky. There we go. Yeah. I hope they have better EVA controls in Kerbal Space Program 2. Alright, let's turn around. And we got great lighting here, so let's get Minmus in the background and let's take our selfie. He's even smiling. Look at him go. He's excited. He's excited for this rescue. All right. The hatch is over here, though. Hey, says Bro Kit Man. Whoop. Ah! Jeez. I swear, this guy's jetpack is more touchy than any of the others so far. And board. There we go. Kermit the Frog is part of our space program roster. Now, who is next? It is Matt Ranger. Okay, well, no, it's Kermit San Diego. Kermit San Diego is next behind us, then Matt Ranger. Set as target. All right, and we need to point prograde to orbit. Pete says, if you knew who was behind the rescue, you may have been less excited. Wow! How rude. How very rude. How very dare you. All right. Pin that, and we need to get those close together. Wow, okay. Recalculate, please. There we go. Oh. Yeah, this, at these low velocities, it doesn't take much. So I'm using my maneuvering thrusters. Slow back down, and there we go. That is 412 meter separation in 1.5 hours. Let's come on around. And they take several orbits there. Okay. Look at the target, and let's go back to target mode and point retrograde. Beckman says, it could be worse. I could be the one rescuing him. Yeah, see, he has a pro instead. Literally a pro gamer. You guys are required to refer to me as Pro Gamer Dan Bear Pig 82. Let's not waste our monopropellant on attitude adjustment right now. We don't need to. All right. There's Kermit San Diego. No, that's Reese's kid. Okay, yeah, you may have pro in your name, but I mean, I'm a pro because I have literally been paid now to play video games. Which so have you, so I don't know what I'm bragging about. Achievement get though, right? Alright, let's come to a stop. Boom. No boom. No boom. No booms allowed. All right. And here we have the P reentry module. And there's Kermit San Diego right there. And let's reclassify this as Debris. And Kermit San Diego, the pilot. I forgot to change Kermit San Diego's gender to girl, so we got a gender-swapped Kermit San Diego. Professional derper. Wow. Okay, just because I've derped 151 times, according to Setson, doesn't mean anything, all right? All right, jetpack on, and lights on. And let's get our rescue selfie. There we go. That's a nice backdrop. Oh, beautiful. And directly up ahead almost, there's our target. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. And I think it's just something to do with being around Minmus. All right, slow down as we approach. Oh my goodness. Yeah, these guys really touchy. What is going on here? There we go. We've got a nice approach now, though. All right. And board. All right, Kermit San Diego, now part of our roster. Let's see. Last one, Mr. Matt Ranger himself. Friend of the channel. Redeemed by Elric, I think. And so let's go orbit mode, prograde, and do that all one more time. All right, so let's pin that. This one, wow, we barely have to do anything. All right. Using the maneuvering thrusters now. Satan says, yo, Dan, I'm back home from work. How's stream going? It's going great. We have rescued Kerman the Frog and Kerman San Diego. They are now aboard. So there's Kerman the Frog and there's Kerman San Diego. Both rescued from orbit of Minmus, and now we're going to rescue Mr. Matt Ranger, Kerman, and that will be the end of the stream. So, all right, we've got an approach of 440 meters, and that's coming up in 50 minutes. So let's warp to right here. And stream is going great. You barely missed Bowser. Dropped in real quick before work. Go to target mode and point retrograde. Take a drink of my water. My throat is feeling it. And there is Mr. Matt Ranger right there. Okay. So let's get closer. Then come to a stop. Up over the mountains. Yeah, look at us skimming these mountains. We are really low altitude. But it's okay. Whoa. Yeah, easy to overdo it here. All right, let's point right at our target. Yeah. It looks like we're going really fast, as opposed to being in Kerbal orbit, just because we're so low. We're so low we can see the terrain scatter. It's rendering the terrain scatter. Our altitude above the terrain is 2.4 kilometers right now. That's how close we are to the plateaus. That's just nuts. All right, we're going to be within 130 meters. So let's catch up and then come to a stop. There he is. Look at that. He desperately needs our help. He has not had snacks in who knows how long. There we go. All right. And I'm not going to be able to reclassify this one as debris because it's not a command pod. But there's Mr. Matt Ranger Kerman. Let's put him on EVA. And let's get a nice selfie from him too. Let go. Turn on your jetpack and your helmet lights. There we go. And turn around. There he is. And say snacks. There we go. Issa, renaming first but not really. Welcome, Issa. You were here just in time for the end, unfortunately, but it's great to see you. We just rescued our 6th Kerbal of the stream, Mr. Matt Ranger himself. All right, let's set that as our target and go. Issa has been rescued, and actually Issa was brought home to the surface of Kerbal today. So we completed that contract earlier. Yeah, this is a new record. 6 rescues in 1 stream. Fantastic. Isa says, hello, Dan. Well, it's late for me anyway, so that's quite all right. Yeah, no worries. I mean, have you tried just being a different time zone, Isa? I mean, you can stay in Norway, but, you know, make it a different time zone. That's how it works, right? Yay, I'm home, she says. Yay, indeed. All right. All right, Mr. Matt. And board. Whoop. Cannot board a full module. Okay, you got to come over here then. Yeah, we got a lot of passengers. We're maxing this out here, I think, after this. And board. Cannot board a full module. Uh-oh. There's no room for Matt. I'm sorry, Matt. We're going to have to come back for you. Oh, let's take another screenshot of Matt. There we go. No, this is good. And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to end. So Dan in his best Jeremy Clarkson impression. Yeah, that's a derp. Yeah, okay, fair enough, Kit. Here we go. He demands it. It's okay, Matt. I added a derp, so it's okay.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Thank you. All right, let's see who is online.
You know what always cheers me up? Laughing at other people's misfortunes.
Thank you, Pete Venkman 84. Let's see. Let's get a full list by looking on my phone. And let's see. I don't think that there's going to be anyone playing a space game here. Eric says, you go back and get the Peapod. Nah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. In fact, I can probably get him back to Kerbin using just his jetpack, but good luck getting him safely to the surface. It's technically possible. Let's raid Kaylee. Let's raid Kaylee. Because we rescued evil Kaylee today. So she is probably at the end of the Frilioth UHC. There she goes. And here is, I'm going to start the raid. The raid message here. If you are subscribed, which you probably are thanks to Kaylee, copy the whole thing. Otherwise, just skip the part at the beginning and end where it says Dan Bear Totem. And that is the message. And on, let's see, what is today? Saturday. On Monday, I'll be back with some First Craft. See you, Dan. See you, chat. Says Satan. See you, Satan. Thanks for dropping by. And on Wednesday, we'll be doing something else. I haven't decided quite yet. Last time we played through the story of Super Hot. It was fun. And then next week, we will actually rescue Matt. See ya. All right. Goodbye.